balance healing, interpersonal healing. God, plant medicine, everything has to do with healing work, right? How much of that needs to be done before I'm a member of TTF? Does that have to happen at all? How do we combine people who are not in that direction at all, or they don't speak the new agey language? Where's the balance there?
Yeah, I guess communities always attract people that want to heal and so on. And yeah, it's been quite interesting for TDF because the group running the space, we're very much grounded, focused on building, focused on regenerating, and we just want to create a nice space to live. And we're really not welcoming that energy right now of we're not a space for deep processes. We can't really have psychedelics retreat, these kind of things. There's plenty of spaces to do that around. But that's just not going to be our focus because we're really this interconnection between an existing village and a regenerative village. So we get locals coming to visit us every day. We're quite a public-facing project. So yeah, this is not really our focus. I think the healing is to remember who we are and to remember what our purpose is. And I think a lot of what we lack and what we miss as humans is a sense of purpose. And I really believe that regeneration can be this purpose. And if this is what we can drive towards together, if that can give us a sense of purpose, then that will create more opportunities for us to thrive. And connection, humans need healthy and thriving relationships with other humans in order to thrive. And so creating the context where that can be possible and where you can just spend time on playing and building and creating and being in the state of flow that creativity enables. I think this is what's healing and what's healthy. Well, also, of course, eating healthy food and all of that. But yeah, we're not really in the specific healing space. We are going to be hosting more and more types of therapies. Like, for example, we built an Aguahara pool, it's a heated pool. And Aguahara is a type of water massage.
Nice.
And these kind of therapies, which are amazing, and there's so many things that you can do. There's an infinite number of healing modalities that you can apply. But yeah, we're definitely looking for the grounded and for therapists that actually have training and not just coming out with we want people that have credentials and that have therapies that are actually anchored on facts and science and these kind of things.
Do you think it's possible to have on the land medical services, or you currently rely on the municipalities' providers of healthcare?
I think there's some extent of things that you can do. I mean, first of all, health comes from food, healthy relationships, and a good lifestyle. And those are three things that we provide. So you will be most likely healthy by living here. But then there's some small things that can be added on top of that. And for example, STI tests are very difficult in Portugal. So we've been looking into just buying in bulk some test things, and then then you can provide that as a service and have a better sexual health than the rest of Portugal.
Nice.
But when it comes to surgeries or having neurosurgeons or whatever, those are things that are super specialized and that you need a much bigger scale in order to make sense. But I mean, there's also the possibilities of robotics and all of that in the future, which will probably democratize some of the access to health compared to what we have today.
Yeah. OASA, big picture. Um, Currently, obviously, the TDF is the core model member. Do you guys have any other land-based projects you are already confirmed? How do you manage these two different, same direction but different, very different type of organizations? Yeah, how active it is?
So, so there's OASA, which is an ecological conservation. TDF is the only project in OASA so far, but we are in talks with projects all over the world. And I would say right now I've been more focusing on Closer. Closer is a software platform that we've been building.
Okay, yes.
That powers return to villages and the likes. And I think right now we have 5 spaces on Closer, and we're onboarding more, maybe 6.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, there's starting to be more and more ties across these projects, and maybe some of those will eventually like join OASA, for example, because we have a strong alignment. And this is starting to build like a digital commons where the different projects that are involved, they're using the same platform, the same technology, which means that there's more budget because there's more transaction volume flowing through the entire network, which means that we can start to scale basically. And this is a phase of where we are with Closer, like we're in the process of automating a lot of things, building out the whole protocol basically. So for now, basically, it's been more like a white label platform that we developed for TDF and also for Moos in Berlin, and for now we're onboarding Earthbound in Sweden, and we have a village in Egypt, and a few others. And basically, we've also been productizing this platform more and more, so making it more and more configurable so that the spaces can really configure everything themselves, and they can enable and disable features. And this is more like day-to-day operations for like managing your inventory, your listings, managing the people in your project, having access to subscriptions, and creating events and ticketing. And then on top of that, the main focus obviously is that you can do that with a token as well. So we enable these projects to launch a token, and now we're starting collaboration with Inverter Network. So actually we're going to be looking at releasing a Closer token in the next few months. This Closer token will basically, you'll be able to use it for your protocol fees on the village, and it will be a way for anyone to own a stake in the protocol itself. And this will be like a first trial run with our integration with Inverter Network. And yeah, through that partnership, we hope that we can create a more scalable Web3 infrastructure for land-based projects. And yeah, basically that goes through, and if everything works well, then we'll be able to deploy more tokens for more villages in the second half of 2025. And that will mean that they will come built in with tons of pre-existing features, standardized bonding modules, bounty modules, and the whole Closer booking infrastructure and everything else. So it'll become like easier and easier for land-based projects to get onboarded digitally and to get access to all the same tools that we've been creating.
Nice. Super cool. Thank you for this. This is, I don't really know a lot of orgs that are tackling that with relationships with existing lands, with their own, model land also. So that's going to be exciting use case model for the whole industry to really focus on. And then I'm also interested to see how trade between these physical locations, land-based projects can be also established. So we have our own parallel economy running, supporting local infrastructure and businesses that are coming out of these locations. So amazing. I will look closer to the Closer because I want to see a little bit more what you've been building and what's the progress there. How can I learn about, like, okay, question is, how do you communicate? Okay, we are here on a podcast interview kind of thing. Do you go to conferences a lot these days? What is the direction that you take in terms of your marketing and communications? What works for you?
Closer has been very much off the radar.
Uh-huh.
Like, we have a very outdated website.
I see.
So we haven't really put much focus on communication at all. We're more just been focusing on building real value. I mean, the same with TDF is like, we're definitely not professional marketers, and yeah, we care more about building a beautiful project, and the people that come, they fall in love with the project, and then they end up staying. And so we don't really care about like gaining so much popularity, because it's already popular and it's already growing, and Close is already connected to actually enough villages to onboard right now. But at the same time, like, we are looking at scale. And so in around March, we're going to be updating the Close website and really starting to build a funnel to bring villages online through the Closer platform. So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more content coming from us, but it's going to come, in a couple months, I would say. Then we'll be more public about it.
Sounds amazing. Yes, quite building and then impressing rather than over-promising and under-delivering. Okay, second to last question, personal level. What does it take to be a leader in this type of super ambitious initiatives? What are the upsides and the downsides? What are the greatest challenges and joys of your day-to-day?
Challenges and joys. That's a good question. Well, I mean, what does it take to be a leader? I would say, first of all, it takes courage and then commitment. I think people these days struggle, especially with commitment. But if you're looking to start a land-based project, don't expect it to take anywhere less than 7 to 10 years, because that's just the pace of creating these kind of spaces.
Yeah.
So patience and courage and going for it. I mean, the joy is obviously like the joy of creation, of really seeing your ideas burst into life. And I think the beauty of the regenerative movement is that we're starting to see a higher purpose, and we're starting to see, just like systems that work together. So kind of exiting the old capitalistic model of competition and selfishness, and it's more looking at how can we create together. And for me, that's maybe one of the more exciting things here at TDF, is like, at the end, TDF is not my project. It's like, it's a piece of land that I put a lot of energy in regenerating, and that is my playground for creating something different. But it's also becoming a sovereign being that is being a home to more and more people. And and everyone in the regenerative movement start to see how can we be in service to the planet rather than the other way around. So I think it's like this maturing into a new definition of entrepreneurship, and definitely looking at a different kind of time scale than we're used to in the like tech startup world.
Right.